Second will be Billy Russell, and he will be playing center field today. And we call Billy the Dean because he's been around for such a long time. Batting third will be our big power hitter, Pedro Guerrero, at third base. Batting fourth is going to be Mike Marshall, and he's going to be playing left field. And I think that everybody that follows baseball will know that Mike Marshall is going to be one of the best power hitters that's come along in a long time. Batting fifth will be our right fielder, Candido Maldonado. Batting sixth will be our catcher, Steve Yeager. We call him the Boomer. Batting seventh, our big power-hitting first baseman, Greg Brock. We call him Casey. Batting eighth will be our shortstop, Dave Anderson. We call him Honeydew. And batting ninth will be our pitcher. He's an outstanding pitcher, Bullet Bob Welch. Thank you very much, and enjoy the ball game.
Well, I don't know where we'd be without nicknames, but that's the way they stack up defensively for Pittsburgh.
It'll be Matlock and a much underrated glove man at third base. Dale Barrow will be the shortstop. Johnny Ray at second base. That's a good double play combination. Jason Thompson, a power hitter. That's why he's at first base. The outfield, Marvell Wynn is a youngster who really made this Pirate Ball Club click last year. He'll be in center field as the anchor. Orsulak, his second start, will be in left field. Frobel is in right field. And one of the really bright young, well, I guess superstars, Tony Pena, will be behind the plate. Watch how low he can get to catch that ball, constantly on his knees, and gives the umpire a good look at the pitched ball by Candelaria, who will be the starter for the Pirates.
And what a starter John Candelaria is, particularly against the Dodgers. His lifetime earned run average against the Dodgers is a little more than 2. That's the best against any team. Look at his ERA this year. It's less than 2. And for that matter, for pitchers with 100 career decisions in the National League, he has the best record of 614. So he wins about 6 out of every 10 decisions. Meanwhile, Tom Seaver, of course, moved across over into the American League. For his extremes, he had an 8-inning loss to Chicago. His earliest removal, 5 1/3. But the most earned runs in any one game, 3. And here's the big thing. He doesn't walk people. He has walked 2 twice, and he has only walked 5 in 5 starts this year.
And that is a very telltale statistic, and you can talk about his stuff, but I think the thing you have to like about Candelaria, he'll challenge you. You have to go out and beat him. He's not going to lose to you. He's going to come at you, and if you do beat him, it'll be with his good stuff. He's a tremendous competitor.
And it was in 1976 when he really came after the Dodgers and pitched a no-hitter against them. It was the first no-hitter against the Dodgers during regular play since Vern Bickford in 1950.
Remember we did the Dodger game? Saxey was going to bunt for his mom?
Right.
He said, I just might try it again for Mom. Let's see.
All right, let's see what Steve Sax does. By the way, because of technical difficulties for a split few seconds, we had a combination Red Sox-Chicago hookup with ours. We have finally cleared up the difficulties, so pull up a chair and spend Saturday afternoon with us. It'll be the Dodgers and the Pirates. And here's Sax. And he faked for Mom anyway.
He's thinking about her. They've pulled in with that fake, although they don't play too deep to begin with.
He's hitting .306. The one big problem for Sax, he's being thrown out a lot in his attempted steals. You know, last year, he stole 34 bases less than Tim Raines, yet he led the league in being caught stealing. This year, he's been thrown out 9 of 16 times. In fact, 3 of his last 4. So naturally, his teammates are accusing him of losing a step. Fastball fouled away. Just to set the Bucks again defensively, Thompson and Ray, Berra and Matlock on the infield. The outfield, relatively unknown, John Orsulak in left, Marvell Wynn in center, and Doug Frobel in right. 2-2. Give you an idea, Lee Lacy is sitting down. He's hitting .395. Fouled away.
Wall.
Slider fouled away. Last night's game was rained out, and they have a doubleheader scheduled tomorrow, and the lights are on here in the first inning. 2-2 to Sax. Got it. Inside corner. $1 million pitch. And for Candelaria, a strikeout is just about synonymous with his name. Bill Russell taking a strike. Russell has hit in 5 of his last 6, and he has 2 career home runs against Candelaria. 0-1. This year he's had 17 different lineups. He's really shuffling the cards.
Well, last year he had Darryl Thomas he could put in anywhere. It looks like Bill Russell is this year's Thomas.
Until Baylor gets well. Fly ball to Marvell Wynn. Easy play. So is hitting only 170. He does not have a hit in his last 14 at-bats. Committed a couple of errors at Candlestick that cost the ball club a game. He does have 3 home runs lifetime against Candelaria. Ball 1. Oh, the count to Pedro. Where does the uppercut start? You drop your back shoulder?
Drop your back shoulder, trying to get extra power, trying to really crunch one and get the big home run.
Look at those big names all struggling, including a 4-time batting champion, Bill Madlock, hitting 220. A drive into the left field corner, and Orsulak's going to have to play it off the wall. And Pedro on his way into second base with a double. So a 2-out double for Pedro Guerrero. The big guy, Mike Marshall, and he is the big fella. Foul back. Although lifetime he's only 1 for 12 against Candelaria. Look at those 8 home runs. That's tops in the league. 23 ribbies, second in the league.
I know Maldonado is hitting well, but Marshall would not get a good ball to hit if I were catching.
0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's got a spot for him, and Maldonado is a good hitter, but this guy can tear out a row of seats and give him a 2-run lead in a hurry.
Not only is he the home run leader above those fellows, you notice Greg Brock, he and Marshall together have more home runs combined than any other 2 players on any team in the National League.
Right, that's for sure.
And he missed away. Ball 3. Breaking ball is hit foul off first. Thompson coming to the railing, makes the catch as the umpire Stello falls down. No, let's not say that. Dick Stello went into a beautiful slide, and he was safe all the way. No score at the end of half an inning. Right field, and that's going to fall for the base hit. With nobody out, they will hold Maldonado at third. And the throw from right fielder Frobel almost knocked Tony Pena down. But Maldonado wasn't coming anyway. So Yeager on a check swing single to right. And the Dodgers at first and third. Nobody out, and Greg Brock coming up. On to second, Ray feeding Berra. Back to first. Double play. And Maldonado comes in. Pena and Doug Frobel. Ray hitting almost .430 against the Dodgers in that recent sweep at Dodger Stadium. But he's always a tough out. Right. There are the leaders, Tony Gwynn and then Johnny Ray, Tim Raines and Darryl Strawberry. You could call that the youth movement. There aren't any grizzled old veterans up there right now. They're all young lions.
Good ones.
One and 1 to Johnny Ray, about the toughest man in the league to strike out, along with Buckner and Madlock. 1 and 1. Ball 2.
You look at those young ball players and you think of what Maury Wills did, Hank Aaron, Lou Brock, and the rest of them. It's a shame that baseball waited until 1947 to let the color line down.
Boy,
how many we missed, the Buck Leonards and Satchel Paper.
Fisted foul off third, out of play. One thing about Johnny Ray, you can move him all over the place. There are some players who say, boy, you take me out of this spot and I just can't hit. Last year, he was in 6 different spots in the lineup. He hit everywhere but leadoff, cleanup, and ninth. Didn't make any difference. Off speed, so 3 and 2. One to nothing in favor of the Dodgers. Just to start of things. Second inning. Now back. Steve Yeager with a check swing bloop single to right. That was the key to the inning. Or the Dodgers might not have scored.
Gloves, wristbands, flaps.
Big deal about the wristband.
Oh, yeah.
Ground ball to shortstop. Dave Anderson. Nice hop. Throws him out. 1 away. May the 5th. And this day in baseball, a memorable one indeed. You have to go way back, 1904. Not only did Cy Young pitch a perfect game, it gave him a string of 18 consecutive hitless innings. Can you imagine? There's a couple of others. And on May 6th, and of course, unless we're on for a long, long time, we won't be with you. Babe Ruth hit his first home run of his career in 1915 on May the 6th. I mean, we're talking legend. Ruth, young. Tony Pena, 0-1.
He very rarely lets a pitch get by. It's the biggest strike zone, I guess, among active players. He swings at everything.
Now back. His lifetime batting average is about 40 points higher against Eastern Division teams. So he has some trouble because he doesn't see the West enough. And he's one of the few ball players around, I guess, who will tell you that it was his mother who taught him how to play or helped him play. Look out, knocked down by Welsh. So Pena, a comebacker to Bob Welsh. You have 2 out, and the batter will be Doug Frobel. You know, Joe and I were talking about how the Pirates have changed over the years. In 1960, the Pirates won the World Series. When they won the series, the final score of that game was 10-9. And the 3 games that the Pirates lost to the Yankees in that series were 12-0, 10-0, and 16-3. And yet now they were the champions, right?
Right.
Needless to say, pitching has never been the strong point in this city. And now we can give you some names to back it up. For instance, fellow you played with him
Kiner.
well, Ralph Kiner, 7 straight years a home run champion. Honus Wagner, 8 batting titles. And then the Wainer boys. Lloyd Wainer hit over 300, 6 straight years. Paul Wainer, 12 years. And then Bill Madlock, 4 batting titles. And when it comes to pitching, that is not synonymous with pitching. 2-0. So Tanner's really trying to revolutionize things.
He really is. It's a transition thing. Of course, I hate to hear that word in Pittsburgh, but when I was here with Mr. Rickey, 1952, we were in the 9th year of a 5-year plan.
The original Mao plan took place then. Fouled away. Man who replaced Wilbur Stargell for the last time when Stargell left the field as a Pirate. It was adios. He ran for him.
I just have to say it. That's as quick a recovery as I've ever seen anybody do. That's better than that fly ball in Montreal.
Carts. They're flying through the air.
It takes a real professional to do that.
3-1.
Beautiful.
Swing, Doug. Just like that I swung. And that's it. Now, if I might have your attention, at the end of 2 innings, Dodgers 1, Pirates nothing, and we really will be back after these messages from your local station, I hope. Looking to cover. With Russell up there, that's basically the play, hit and run. With 2 out, of course, then you figure Sachs is ceiling. So the Dean, Bill Russell, single to left. The Dodgers now, leading 1-0, have 5 hits against Candelaria.
As a catcher, when you pitched out and the runner didn't go, you knew then you were placing handcuffs on yourself, because most of the time you'd have to go for the curveball to get the ground ball, and that would be the ball that a good hit and run man like Russell can handle, and 9 out of 10 times they're going to run, so you're really playing with handcuffs on.
Here's Guerrero, who doubled into the left field corner. Ball got away, but not far enough. Why, in the sequence of a catcher's thinking, would he pitch out on the first pitch?
Because he would figure with Sachs on, they know that he's been thrown out stealing, but Lasorda wants to get something going and also stay away from the double play. Russell will handle a bat. They'll do it on the first chance they get.
Knocked it into the left field corner, but Orsulak makes a fine catch. Sachs tags and brings home the run, and it is 2-0 Dodgers.
Send it to Cooperstown or the laundromat.
Dale Berra, who has really been struggling, and they have been eating him alive here. He's had just 1 hit in his last 29 at-bats. Ball 1. Goes to right field.
That's one of the things they've been wanting him to do, is to go to the opposite field and hit that ball where it's pitched instead of trying to pull everything, and that was a good piece of hitting.
So Berra opens up the 3rd with a single to right, and that'll bring up John Candelaria. The Candy Man has 2 hits, one of them a double. Which gives you that nice strike zone. It is 2-0 Dodgers, and I guess you have to look bunt here. You don't expect Candelaria to do anything magical.
Stay away from that double play. Keep the inning alive.
0-1. 2-0. Involved in a base running play. No attempts at steals. 2-1 the count. And he's behind, so that's even more frustrating. 3-1. There's the bunt, and it's sharp, so Welsh has a play. Anderson back to Sachs, and they get the double play. That note about the Dodgers leading in double plays, I always figured that that is an inside-out stat. Usually the worst team in the league is going to lead the league in double plays, you would think, because they'd have the most base runners and the most opportunities.
Sound like a general manager now.
Uh-oh.
They'll take it and turn it around. If you get assists in the outfield, you say, I got a good arm. So, yeah, well, you had the chances.
High pop foul off to the left out of play, and the count 1-1. Popped out to Pedro Guerrero. You know, we told you how the Pirates were slow starting last year. They really turned around when they acquired Wynn from the Mets. As soon as he was acquired, they took off. Now back. Upstairs. Good. Fouled away. These two clubs usually play the game very close to the best. High fly ball to shallow right. A trio of Dodgers. Sachs the middleman. And how do you like Maldonado? A sliding sit-down catch in right field.
He was trying to avoid the collision is what he was trying to do. He sees, you saw him right there take a look at Sachs, and he said, if he's going to hit me, I'm going to be down already.
Shades of Joe Medwick, if you're old enough to remember. And it's 2-0 Dodgers at the end of 3. Here's Joe Orsulak. A bunt in the air that's going to fall. Brock throwing back to Welsh too late. There wasn't much you could do about it.
You could see him take a look, and once it hit that artificial surface, he knew he had a big base hit.
Now here's Bill Madlock. Madlock single to right in the first inning. He is downright mean against Bob Welch. He's almost hitting .380 against Welch. Lifetime. One thing the Pirates do not do, or at least they haven't been doing, they haven't been running at all. The entire team has a total of 9 stolen bases. You know, one year when Chuck Tanner was in Oakland, they stole 340. So, you know, you do with what you have. Now the fewest number in the National League, 9.
And the other thing to keep in mind is that they may get the same lead, but they're leaning back towards first base. You can't tell that very well when you're looking at them, but when you have a pitcher out there who's constantly thrown over there with a good move, you force the runner to do that, and that gives that outfielder that chance.
You wonder, too, about a ball. Popped it up, and it'll be Sachs. Chicago leading Boston 2-0 in the 4th inning. The White Sox trying to get their act squared away after a slow start. Good matchup there with Dotson and Boyd. White Sox are now 3.5 back of the Angels as they try and move up.
You heard Vin talk about Thompson being the power hitter. He's the pull hitter. They've swung way around. You wouldn't think that Orsulak would be moving because they want that hole between first and second.
You know, Jason Thompson led the club last year in RBIs, and he only had 76. On a breaking ball low, the throw is too late.
He missed with 2 fastballs after he got 2 quick strikes, so it was almost saying he's not going to hit my fastball, and Yeager has a tough ball to handle. It's low. Catching it one-handed didn't help him. He couldn't get a whole lot on that throw. You could tell by his follow-through, and Orsulak beats the throw.
So with a runner at second and 1 out on the count, 3-2 to Thompson. And Joe in there without a doubt. Now back 3-2. A drive into left center and deep. Russell going back, away back. This is off the wall. Barehanded and juggled by Russell. The run is in on a booming double by Thompson.
Brother, he got that high fastball, and he knew what to do with it. He tattooed it, and Russell knows it's going to be at least off the wall, maybe out of here, and bounces almost over his head. Barehands it, gets it back into second base, and that's about all he could do. There's the look from center field.
It's a good play, too, because if Russell doesn't catch that ball, remember there's only one out. The runner is at third, and that's a tying run. 4-1. 2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3, Ray. Right. Pickoff play.
It's a good way to see that pickoff play from center field. You have a timing play, but for the most part, if you can just get some daylight, there you saw the daylight. Pitcher saw it, the daylight between the runner and the infielder. He just wheels and throws because he knows the infielder is going to complete his run.
3-1. On the corner. And there's ball 4. Let's get an update. We'll go to Len Berman in New York. Death switches have been brought to Cleveland and they're leading. Here's Tony Pena. And he's playing under some duress. It's what they call a non-displaced fracture of the right thumb. He was hit by Rick Russell the end of April. He's toughen up and play this game 100%. Drive to center. Russell hesitates, still going back, and makes the catch. Tagging up is Thompson, and he will go to third easily. First, and a big swing from Doug Frobel. Parker. Say one thing, his first 5 hits this year, he had 5 RBIs. He had a grand slam home run, then he had a home run, and then he had a triple. So that sounds like Parker. 0-2. If you're wondering about Johnny Ray perhaps trying to go, Ray has stolen 2 bases, but he's also been caught twice. But the Bucks had Orsulak stealing second. Got him. So the Heat and Welsh takes care of Frobel. 1 run, 2 hits.
He just outran that ball. Sheer speed did it and made the play.
Ball to center. Marvell Wynn has to go back, so tagging up is Sachs, and that will take away any chance of getting him. As soon as you saw Wynn going back, that play was history. So Guerrero, a scoring fly ball, thanks to that hit and run play. 2-4, but the Dodgers still get a run. For the last 10 years, the first 2 months have been dreadful for whatever reason, and maybe weather has a part of it. I don't know. Second walk given up by Bob Welsh. He walked Ray in the 4th. Here's Candelaria, bunt situation. Let's see what happens. Remember, he bunted into a double play in the 3rd inning. And he's bunting in the air, drops foul untouched. 0-1. It looks like they've taken the bunt off. You know, the bunt is like the Buffalo, kind of disappearing, certainly on AstroTurf. Candy had 9 base hits last year, so he's not an automatic out, and Welsh is struggling a little. So he goes 3-2 with Berra at first, nobody out in the 5th inning, and the Dodgers leading 3-1. Runner goes. Foul back. And he goes. And it's ball 4.
He would have made it. Yeager dropped the ball as he started to throw. There was something that Berra did now. The 2 times that he broke off first base, that if you were seated on the bench, you'd make a note of that. You notice how he kind of dug in with his left foot as he kind of braced himself to get ready to go. That would be a thing that if you were catching or you're on the bench, you'd pass that on to the catcher and say, hey, I don't know if it means anything, but it looked like he braced himself with his left foot, so why don't you pitch out if you got the luxury?
2-0. Wynn has popped up and flied to right, and he's bunting. Swinging.
Got to do it now.
Not much speed out there. The runners don't go, and it's popped in the air to center field. Russell is there, and the runners are not going to tag at first. So they took the bunt off and win a fly ball. And now Joe Orsulak, the rookie, grounded out in single. When he stole second in the 4th inning, he came home to score the run. That was his first stolen base in the majors. Ground ball down to short. Anderson boots it, picks it up. Everybody's safe. The question was there a foot on the bag? But when he picked it up, he had already gone by the bag, and John McSherry was right there to call it.
He got caught in between hops. He lays back on his next hop right here. And that's where he got him, right there. And he just couldn't come up with it.
Can I also show you something? Can you back up that a minute and I'll show you? Watch his knee. See his right knee go down?
Yes.
He's the only major league shortstop I have ever seen play shortstop with his knee touch the ground.
Wrong guy had his foot on the bag.
Yeah, right. Now, the bases are loaded on what might have been. So the double play opened the door. The Dodgers' inability to turn it, and the Bucks cash it in.
Guerrero at third base, a high hopper. He just doesn't get to the ball, and once he gets through there, you know 2 runs are going to score.
Zachary, with a record of 1-0, is in his 8th game, and Jason Thompson, the big RBI guy, has flied to left and doubled in a run. He's had 9 RBIs in his last 12 games. But for Welsh, like so many pitchers, he's still thinking about Orsulak's ground ball that he feels should have been a double play, and the inning's over. Ball 1. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Pirates in the bottom of the 5th.
Got it going. If you win it, they call that spirit.
2 balls, no strikes. And that's driven to center. Russell coming up and can't short hop it. Deflects it into left field. Orsulak, who runs well, scores. Into third base goes Madlock, and down to second goes Thompson. And at third, that throw might have hit Madlock. And evidently, I think it was the throw that got Madlock. And he is hurting.
The helmet gives you some protection, but let's see where exactly it hit him. Bill just couldn't come up with the short hop. It looks like he thinks about firing it into the plate. Watch his look here. He sizes it up, goes into third base, and let's see where the throw got Madlock, if indeed it was a throw.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like it hit him right in the neck.
So Thompson will get a double on that as we take another look at it. Right there.
Yeah, batting champion. He brings out the manager, the trainer, the owner, and everybody else. They're going to work on him. Third string catcher, forget it.
That's a franchise player there. Now, with first base open, they'll have to walk Johnny Ray. They have to look for at least something to get out of a big inning.
Then they'll have to watch that first ball. He's a first ball fastball hitter and a very aggressive hitter.
Pena hit back to the box and flied to center. So the Bucks with 2 walks, then a fly ball out. Then the key to the inning, Orsulak's ground ball to Anderson that he kicked. Then the single by Madlock that meant 2 runs. The double by Thompson that scored Orsulak, with Madlock taking third. And Ray walked to load the bases. All 4 runs in the inning, in the game, charged to Bob Welch. And Madlock at third also belongs to Welch. Here is Pena. Ball 1. So standing at first, Johnny Ray. At second, Jason Thompson. Still rubbing at the right side of his head at third, Bill Madlock. Hard slider missed, so he's behind now 2-0. High fly ball to shallow left if Marshall can get to it. And he can't, and it bounces back towards the infield, and everybody moves up 90 feet. And it is 5-3 Pittsburgh on a bloop single to left.
He was completely fooled on that pitch. You can see him bail out, but being the aggressive hitter he is, he just got the bat on it. Marshall just could not reach the ball, and the artificial surface, it almost gets by him. And it's a bloop base hit.
So Doug Frobel, the 9th man to come up here in a wild 5th inning. And the Bucks are leading. Good against San Diego. High fly ball to left field and shallow. Marshall coming up. Tagging is Thompson, but he's not going anywhere. The throw cut off by Guerrero. So Thompson, Ray, and Pena out on the lines. 2 down and a 4-run 5th. Pirates 5, Dodgers 3. Fastball. Out away. 0-2. 1-2. 1-2. 2-2. Fastball hit him. Hit him on the wrist, and that forces over another run. And it becomes a 5-run 5th. It makes it 6-3 Pittsburgh.
I can't believe he did that. The way he was setting him up, that all he'd do is throw a fastball on the inside part of the plate, and it just sails right into him and hits him and forces him to run. Look at that ball sail right into him.
So Berra gets an RBI the hard way. The Bucks trying to snap a 5-game losing streak, are leading 6-3. And John Candelaria fouls it away. Took a little bit off that. And finally, the 3rd out in the inning. But not before a big 5, a high 5 up on the scoreboard for the Bucks. And at the end of 5 innings, Pittsburgh 6 and the Dodgers 3. See if Marshall goes again 3-2. He does, way outside. So here is a fellow who has remarkable control and who is a strikeout pitcher. And Tanner suddenly thinks it's an imposter out there.
I say with the base on balls, he just brings a tying run up to the plate, but we may have seen the last of Candelaria. I doubt if he would start again, but you never know.
So Billy Williams will have the dirt areas covered naturally with AstroTurf, tartan turf, whatever it might be. You don't have to worry about that. So while we watch them cover the vulnerable areas, we have plenty of time, and we'll be back at Three Rivers Stadium here in Pittsburgh right after this. Chuck Tanner saying, John, you're big enough to give a big sign. I wonder, well, I don't know why he didn't call it.
Must have been pretty obvious that he was safe, but he didn't make a motion. Pena took 2 steps and really gunned it there. But McSherry didn't make a move, and the Pirates thought it was an easy out. The ball looked like it was ahead of him, but he looks like he's saying he missed the tag. Let's watch it. Now, Pena takes a double step. Now, here he goes, and he got something on it. He never tagged him. He kept backing off and backing off.
Kept shrinking and shrinking until now it's a secret.
I'm coming back.
Marvell Wynn will start it off against Bert Hoot.
I'm going to wait for a foul ball. Give me a little bit of time.
Right. Versocious stumbles, falls, no play.
I think, if anything, they're going the other way to show that they're really cool. and that they're really in complete control. And intimidation, no, but they want to be cool. Dascoli for crying out. Barlick, you could hear Barlick for miles, and I'm not going to talk about that. The catcher's involved.
Orsulak 1 for 3. Marvell Wynn has stolen 3 bases, but we told you the Bucks are not a running team. He's been caught 4 times. So let's see what they do when they're down by 1. Going to play bunt there, and Orsulak takes. Bird Hooton without a record. He's in his 9th game. He started 2.
So far, this is kind of a game you show those little leaguers. This is how the big guys do it, just like you.
Ball down. Well, Marvell Wynn, the tying run at first. It's 7-6 Dodgers, bottom of the 6th inning. And the bunt is down and foul. That's Franklin Stubbs playing first. Brief rain shower. It is a lovely afternoon in Pittsburgh. The bunt after a hesitation, a hop to Hooton. He goes to Anderson, back to first, not in time. So Orsulak bunts into a force play, 1-6.
He bunted that ball hard right back at him. Instead of deadening it, he kind of pushes towards. See him kind of stab that ball, and on one hop, Hooton's throw is to the third base side. It kind of pulls Anderson off, but I doubt if he would have been able to get Orsulak, who can really run.
7-6 Dodgers, 6th inning, ground foul outside of third.
I don't want to get into the new buzzword, which are unanswered points and answered points and all that, but this is a big inning for the Dodgers because they came back when the Pirates should have shut them down, or the inning that they really had to nail them and couldn't do it. Now the Dodgers have to do the same thing.
0-2 the count of Bill Madlock. Jason Thompson on deck. 6-3 Dodgers lead, 7-6. Ball 1 and 2. And that's hit towards second. A one-hopper. Sacks on the bag and doubles him at first. So a 4-3 double play with Sacks getting a putout and an assist. No runs, 1 hit. The key was Orsulak's failure to bunt Wynn over. And 6.5 inning. The Dodgers 7 runs, 8 hits, and the Pirates 6 runs, 8 hits. Thompson, Ray, and Pena slide to left and then double twice. He has a couple of RBIs. Interestingly enough, if you like to keep a really close tab on a game, the pitches of record, Guante could lose because he served up what could be the game-winning home run to Monday. The interesting thing is Zachary could win, but it depends really on how well Hooton pitches. Ground ball to Sacks right. 1 away. What Hooton is really trying to do is save it for Zachary. Ball 1 to Johnny Ray. Ray grounded out, walked twice, last time intentionally. This is such an interesting scoring decision in watching Hooton pitch. 3-1. He was outspoken in the spring when he said, "I don't want to be a long man." For Johnny Ray, the 3rd time he's walked today. 1 ball, no strike. He goes outside, and the throw got him, and there's a sign. John McSherry let everybody in Philadelphia know he was out that time. Frobel struck out twice, flied to left, 0 for 3. Wild game. The Dodgers scored a run in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd. The Bucks came back with a run in the 4th. Then the Dodgers took a 3-1 lead, only to have the Pirates score 5 times in the 5th inning and lead 6-3. It rained for a few minutes. When they came back, the Dodgers scored 4 times to take a 7-6 lead. 2-1. Niedenfuhr, who is the strength of the Dodger bullpen. He was the other side of the coin when Steve Howe was down there, but he carries the bulk of the work now. That's a strike. Foul back. Foul back. Ground foul.
Switch off the fastball.
Boom. And did he drive it to right center? And that one is up the alley and against the wall. Frobel into second base, and Russell gets the ball back into Sachs, and the tying run is out there with nobody out.
We asked Niedenfuhr, what runs through your mind when they bring you in from the bullpen?
Then we'll have a hitter for Guante, and that's Milt May, and then Marvell Wynn. All right, would you have Wynn?
No, I wouldn't have him bunt. I know what you're thinking. I'd have him at least take one shot, but he's got to pull that ball. He's got to at least get the ground ball to the right side.
Now back. One and one. That's a strike. 2 to Mazzilli. Strike 3 call. What a frustrating at bat for Mazzilli, not to mention what it did to Chuck Tanner. As you can see, in a slump, and that means that Mazzilli, the switch hitter, and now May, everybody else on the Pirate bench right-handed. Billiard, Vargas, Otis, Morrison, and Lacey. 1 out. 4-1. 8 hits for the Dodgers, 6 runs, 9 hits for the Pirates. And we're in the bottom of the 8th. And he missed with the fastball. So Niedenfuhr is struggling. First and second, 1 out. We'll have a runner to come in, and the runner will be Rafael Belliard. Wynn hitting .272. 2 on, 1 out. 8th inning, 7-6 Dodgers. Big chopper to the hole, base hit to right field. Maldonado charging. Here comes Frobel, the throw to the plate. He scores. Holding at first is Wynn. Stopping at third is Belliard. And they're all even. 7-7. Up 7-7 in the bottom of the 8th. That means it will be Kent Tekulve pitching to Russell, Guerrero, and Marshall in the 9th inning. And now we don't have to worry about Zachary and Hooten, and it's up in the air for grabs. Whoa.
They would throw what was known as the purpose pitch. Purpose being to let him know that we don't like the way you're swinging at that ball, taking charge.
Wynn at first, Belliard at third with 1 out. 1-1. There's speed out there, and there goes Marvell Wynn on a fly ball into shallow right. Anderson going out. Maldonado for the catch. Tagging and holding is Belliard on the throw to Socia. Well, Niedenfuhr is certainly not out of the woods now because the oak tree is up there. Bill Madline. Single to right, single to left, popped up, hit into a double play. Has a couple of RBIs. 7-7, bottom of the 8th. In a dandy. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Bucks. 7 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. Each side with an error. So each team has come battling back. Little fly ball to right. Maldonado says he has it and does. So in the 8th inning, the Bucks get a double, a single, and a walk and get even. And at the end of 8, the Dodgers 7 and the Pirates 7.
That hop, here he comes charging in. If that ball hits the turf right there, he doesn't make the play. And it's always tough to throw to a base you're running away from. Good play by Madlock.
Falling fair, chased by Frobel, and holding is Guerrero. He fists one into right field.
We asked Niedenfuhr
Working on Mike Marshall, who hits it down the right field line and fair into the corner. Frobel chasing it down to the fence. Guerrero to third. They will hold him on a double by Marshall. So in a moment, we'll have the bases loaded as Terry Whitfield gets 4 wide ones. In the inning with 1 out, Guerrero singled to right. Marshall doubled to right. Lasorda knew, I guess, knowing Tanner that well, that they would put Whitfield aboard. So the Dodgers have used Whitfield, Socia, Stubbs, Monday, and Landeskog. 5 pinch hitters, but they will keep Whitfield in the game. Ball 1 strikes. Well, the only sign was big high chopper. Now let's see. Belliard over to Ray. Back to first. They get the double play. So the Bucks work their way out of the jam.
You don't think Whitfield isn't going hard trying to get him? Nice play by Thompson.
No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and we're locked up. 7-7, bottom of the 9th. Great bit of clutch work by Messrs. DeCulvey, Belliard, Ray, and then Thompson. And now in the bottom of the 9th, the Bucks off the hook. And Jason Thompson, Johnny Ray, and Tony Pena coming up against Tom Niedenfuhr. A hot one right at Franklin Stubbs. He'll have to feed Niedenfuhr coming over. That thing was hit hard. Johnny Ray. Fouled away, off to the left, out of play. Called them off to you before. You have Amos Otis, Lee Lacy, Jim Morrison, and Eddie Vargas. They have burned up the left-hand hitters. They didn't have any anyway. Milt May and Mazzilli, a switch hitter. The Dodgers have used Socia, Monday, Landeskog, Stubbs. They have Morales and Rivera because Landro is on the disabled list. And 2 premier relief pitchers are locked up. 7-7. Tom Niedenfuhr and Kent Tekulve. Got him, and I mean he was humming. Ball 1. A little breaking ball that time. Ball 2, 2-1. Fastball, and that thing was really running. 1 more, and he's late, and he's still able to get it into right field. So Pena, 2-out single to right. And now Doug Frobel, who got the Bucks even with the double in the 8th inning, will be the batter.
Then you don't hear those great expressions. I don't think you do anyhow. Personal that used to hear, like John Lollipop Corridon used to call those guys that would cut and slash Bible hitters, thou shalt not pass.
Yeah.
And that's what Pena, you throw that ball and thou shalt not pass. He's going to cut and slash.
Looked like that ball was up and in, and he barely got around on it, but he muscled it into right field. So now let's see about Frobel. Ball 1. Fisted, and it's popped in the air to Sachs. He is properly jammed, and we are going to be going into extra innings. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left. And at the end of 9, the Dodgers and the Pirates all locked up, 7-7.
Frobel gives it a good try. Almost had it. Looked like he was about even with the ball. The throw comes in from Marvell Wynn, and it looks like Madlock was screened on the play because it looked like they were going to be there plenty of time to make the tag, but it got by him and luckily did not go into the dugout. See Ebach get even with that ball?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was catcher ball. Now here comes Franklin Stubbs. That ball's going to beat him, but it just short hop right past Madlock.
Backhanded by Johnny Ray. 1 away. Identical. Ground ball to short, and in front of the shortstop goes Madlock to make the play, and holding at third is Stubbs in the Dodger dugout. 0-1. Ground ball to short. Belliard gets him, and oh, you talk about getting off the hook. What a magnificent performance by Kent Tekulve to keep Franklin Stubbs at third, and we're It's still 7-7, bottom of the 10th. Just look at the look on Chuck Tanner's face as he greets Kent Zekulbe. How about this thought, Joe? Zekulbe worked 2 innings. Magnificent, right? Sure. He gave up a walk, a single, a double, and a triple, and no run. Only 213, and he's 37 years old. Fouled away. We were talking before about since the departure of Stargell and Parker, the only man in a Pirate uniform who has hit 20 home runs is Jason Thompson. Well, Amos Otis had 20 home runs one year, but again, you temper that with the thought that he's 37. Don Robinson will be the new pitcher if there's an 11th inning. Oh, 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that's hit down the right field corner, slicing in the corner, fair ball. Otis on his way into second base, standing with a double as the ball bounced over the fence into the Dodger bullpen. And now all the heat is on the Dodgers.
Just inside the line, hits the artificial surface and out of the ballpark, out of the playing area that is, and it's a ground rule double. Right now, here we go.
Here's Rafael Belliard, who came in, you remember, to run from Milt May, who walked in the 8th inning. Belliard then stayed in the game, and you have to give him credit on that high chopper hit by Mike Scioscia in the 9th inning. Belliard was able to turn it into a double play. Now is Belliard.
He's got to bunt him over. Stubbs is deep at first base.
He's bunting. Up along third, and Guerrero is retreating, so there's no play. Another left-hand hitter, Orsulak on deck. Ground foul, 0-1. And an infield single and a single to right. 18,176 having a ball at Three Rivers Stadium. The big guy is Otis. He's at third. Belliard is at first. The infield is up. Ball 2. 1. And that'll do it. Fly ball to center. Russell going back, but it's a formality. It'll go as a single. And scoring is Otis, and the Pirates off the hook in the 9th and 10th inning. Snap a 5-game losing streak in a wild ball game and a great one to watch. Pittsburgh wins it 8-7. So Marvell Wynn comes up with his 3rd hit, and it was the battle of the bullpens, and the stronger bullpen belonged to Pittsburgh. Stay tuned for golf. For Joe Garagiola, Vin Scully, wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon.